Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is December the 19th of 2022. If you can't hear it in my voice, we just got over a weekend where both me and my wife, actually a week, she's been sick for the whole week. She's still cleaning out. She said she's feeling a lot better, but last night was a coughing fest. I don't know if she actually took any NyQuil or not, but I didn't get it nearly as bad. I was coughing, and that was mostly because my nose was stopped up. And when you sleep, you snore, especially when your nose is stopped up. And when you snore, your throat hurts. It's just, There's other factors involved too, I'm sure, but for me, that's usually how it works, is my nose goes, and then my throat goes, and then I get congested. And then there you go. But, anyways, it was a weekend. we got to see the grandbaby. Oh, it was amazing. It was so nice. We got to actually keep her overnight too, which is so much fun. She's not at that age where she's ready to stay up late with us, but I am counting the days until she can stay up late with us so we can watch movies and do silly things all night. It'll be fun. It'll be a blast. So I had a good weekend. It was a good weekend. It was really good. But today we're gonna read. I almost said Isaiah, Jeremiah 16. I thought for a second there I had a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of synchronicity, I guess. A little bit of kismet. I thought, because somebody on Twitter said something about following your heart. And anybody ever says that, especially this time of year, you will hear a lot of people say that. God knows my heart. God tells me just to follow my heart. Follow your heart to know the right way, know the right path. He'll show you. And somebody posted something from Jeremiah 17, and I was like, oh, what chapter are we on? Are we on 16 or 17? I don't remember. And I didn't know until I got in here today, and I went to the bookmark, and it's 16. We're on chapter 16. But he quoted chapter 17, and I was like, oh, wow. And it's 17:9. For those that don't know, and this is going to be one of those things that I am definitely going to have to write down. But it's something that I've been talking about for a while. It's something that I have brought up many, many times over the past, I don't know how many years I've been doing this now. Jeremiah 17:9, not to say we're not going to read 16. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I've said it again and again and again. God knows your heart. God knows that you are not to follow your heart. He says he will write his laws and his commandments onto your heart and into your mind when you are saved, when you come to him. He especially says it whenever he gives us new bodies, after we die and we are resurrected. He will give us a new life, a new way of looking at things. We will not take the things of this world with us, the evils and the darkness and the lies. Actually, we read in was it one of the earlier ones of Jeremiah, or was it the later ones of Isaiah, where it said that not only will the things of this world not be remembered, but we will be caused not to remember it. Like it is absolutely becoming a blank slate. All the secrets we're not even going to get to know because it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter in the new world. We're going to be focusing on something better. So, following your heart in this world, that's not what God wants. And I've said it time and time again. And I have a perfect example of that for someone that I thought wanted to hear the truth on Twitter, but they didn't. They didn't want to hear the truth. They want to hear their truth. They want to hear a truth that matches up to what they believe. And of course, it was about Christmas. And it's not like I knew, these people were Christian or anything, and it's not like I knew that they were religious or that they wanted to hear anything whatsoever. I thought if I was following somebody, then probably they're speaking the truth, and there's a reason for it. So this woman starts posting about Santa Claus and gingerbread men and Christmas trees and all this other kind of stuff. And so something about Santa Claus, something about, bringing joy to little kids' hearts and all that stuff. And I just straight out said it. Santa Claus is the devil. Old Nick, I've done it time and time again. You look up the definition. You don't even have to look up the definition anymore. You just have to go to Google and just type in Old Nick, and it will come up as a translation for the devil. I could do it right now. I'm not going to pull you into it because I don't want to go that far into it. OLD space NICK, Old Nick. Of course, old Nickelodeon shows comes up. That's funny. You hit enter, and it says Old Nick in American English. This is from the Collins Dictionary. Old Nick definition and meaning. Collins English Dictionary. Noun, informal, the devil, comma, Satan. Santa Claus is the devil. And of course she comes back with Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of worshiping trees. I don't even know anymore. Saint Nicholas, also known as Nicholas of Bari. It's an early Christian bishop of Greek descent. Right. The true story of Santa Claus begins with Nicholas. No, the true story of Santa Claus begins with the devil. That's what the name means. We don't, he's the patron saint of sailors, merchants, archers, repentant thieves, children, brewers, pawnbrokers, unmarried people. What? The patron saint of pawnbrokers. Oh, this just gets better and better. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. That's the patron saint of pawnbrokers. Oh my goodness. Of sailors and merchants, beware those that come from the sea. The merchants of this world. The sailors. The archers. Who was an archer? Nimrod was an archer. Cain was an archer. Who else was there? There's a couple other ones too. All of them not good. Repentant thieves, children. Patron saint of children. Brewers. Patron saint of brewers. Oh, for crying out loud. Unmarried people. Patron saint of how do you become a patron saint of unmarried people? And students. But no, we're patron saint of pawnbrokers. That's where we're gonna be. He was defrocked and imprisoned for slapping the heretic Arius. Wow. What is this? Another famous late legend. This is from Wikipedia, guys. Another famous late legend tells how he resurrected 3 children who had been murdered and pickled in brine by a butcher, planning to sell them as pork during a famine. Where do they come up with this stuff? Seriously, where do they come up with this stuff? Oh my goodness. Anyways, very little at all is known about St. Nicholas's historical life. Yeah, because it's all made up. We base our understanding of your childhood Christmas joy upon somebody that we don't really know for sure if he even exists or not. Unbelievable. It blows my mind, man. It just absolutely blows my mind how these things come around. Patron saint of pawnbrokers. But we don't call him Saint Nick. We call him Old Saint Nick. Why is he old? Because supposedly he was there before the beginning of time. He's old because he has the long beard and long hair, because he looks exactly like Kronos. You remember Kronos, the Greek god that that ate his children, the one that Saturn is based upon. You know, Saturn is the devil. Saturn is the planet of evil. Saturn is where all this comes from. It's Saturn worship, Satan worship, Kronos. Ate his children. This guy, again, if you want to play telephone, this guy saved children from being eaten, saved dead children that were pickled, that were going to be eaten as pigs, sold as pig meat. Oh my goodness. We play the game of telephone just about in everything we do, because we're hearing from one source that heard it from another source that heard it from another source that heard it from another source. We don't have the documents to be able to prove any of these things. So we hear it over and over again through time, and it gets muddied just a little bit more, until you hit stuff like this. And really, this is you see how these things get put together. You understand how these things get put together. So, no, I don't believe in St. Nicholas. I don't believe that there was any being named Santa Claus, whose name is literally an anagram of Satan, was based off of this guy. That this guy has done any good for Christmas whatsoever. Patron saint of pawnbrokers. My God. Does it translate well that I'm face palming? I mean, does it really? Anyways, though, back to my story. So I told Old Nick. That's what it is. We don't call him Saint Nicholas. We call him Old Saint Nick. Get ready for Old Saint Nick. It's Old Nick. That's what he is. So she sends me the Wikipedia article for Saint Nicholas. I should have actually read it. I didn't read it because I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can name any saint for anything whatsoever. Saint Patrick, really? Do you really think that a priest would have given two shits about you going out, getting drunk, pissed ass drunk based upon his name? St. Patrick's Day. Let's go celebrate St. Patrick. How do we celebrate St. Patrick? Let's go get pissed. Seriously? Come on. Of course, then again, St. Nicholas was the patron saint of brewers. So, I mean, maybe they got together, and maybe that's why that the Church of England canceled Christmas for as long as it did, was because, there were too many people celebrating the patron saints of brewers. You never know. But she sends me the link to the Wikipedia page to Saint Nick, and I'm like, I said, you know, it's regardless of what they've told you, it is a holiday of worshiping trees. It is a pagan ritual. It's a pagan holiday that has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. I don't know how you would even be able to shoehorn Christ into this birthday or into this day, but that's not what we do. There's not even anything that tells us we're supposed to celebrate a birthday. Actually, I've said it before. The only people that say that we're really supposed to celebrate birthdays are the Satanists. So you know what? Satanists love Christmas. Why do they love Christmas? Because somebody was born. Because you're born into this world. Satanists say that's the biggest day you're supposed to celebrate. Because that was the day you were given life into this world. Of course, you know, I told her, I said, look, this isn't, she said she didn't want to argue because, she didn't want to argue about it because she, as a Christian, she needs to celebrate the birth of Christ. And that, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was enough to really turn me off of it. But it was basically the understanding was, it doesn't matter what the truth is. I want to celebrate it this way. And all I said back to that was, well, this isn't, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you that we've been lied to and that we should be finding out the truth more than just going along with the lies just because they help us feel better about ourselves. We're not supposed to follow our feelings on this. We're not supposed to follow our heart. I didn't say that, but I did say we're not supposed to follow our feelings on this. It's the same thing. We're supposed to follow the truth. The truth is, Christmas has nothing to do with Christ. That is a pagan ritual. But like I told her, I said, you can do whatever you want. You can follow it however you want, but I'm just here to speak the truth. That's one of the things that God has opened my eyes to, is the truth. And I just want people to hear the truth. You don't have to listen to me. Prove me wrong. Go for it, prove me wrong. Prove anywhere in the Bible where it tells us that we're supposed to follow in the ways of the heathens, that we're supposed to follow in the ways of the Satanists, of the ways of darkness. Tell me where it says that. And I'll go pull out my decorations right now, because I still have some stuff left. It's sad now. Now that my mom has passed, the boxes of ornaments that I have, I inherited all of her ornaments too, which were selling. I can't keep them. But all the ones that I had, I was going to give back to Mom. I was going to give them all back to her because she gave them all to me. I was going to be like, Mom, I can't use these anymore. Now I got to throw them away. Now I got to do what I said I was going to do to begin with. I got to toss them. It's unreal. Unbelievable. I never thought this day would come like this. Because I knew that she would want them. She would want them to have them because she bought them for me, and I've gone through it back and forth with her and telling her, look, I don't want to celebrate this anymore because it's just another lie. It's just, it's more garbage. And she didn't understand it. She couldn't really process it, but she respected it to a point. I still say, last year she was calling me up asking me why I can't just follow the rituals of Christmas. I said, because you're using the word rituals. That's exactly what it is. It's the rituals of Christmas. I said, Mom, you can do whatever you want to, and I will come and I will have a dinner with you, and we can sit around and we can have kinship and be together and do all this stuff. I said, but I can't. I'm not going to hang up a tree. I'm not going to hang up decorations. I'm not going to exchange presents. You want to exchange presents? We can exchange presents any day of the week. We don't have to do it on one specific day. And of course, she got mad at me again, and I'm like, well, what? I know it makes you feel better, but it doesn't make me feel any better anymore. It makes me feel sick. It makes me feel sick that for years and years and years, not only was I lied to, but I lied to other people about it as well. I am just as guilty, and may God forgive me for spreading those lies. Because there was a point where I had children that I was taking care of. And I did the whole Christmas thing with them. I took them and I sat them right down on the lap of Santa Claus. And now I feel ashamed for doing that. I feel bad. So we have to stop doing this. We have to stop living the lies. Start living the truth. This is how they get us to believe these things. It's because it's just one lie packed on top of another, packed on top of another. You're worshiping the saints, the patron saint of pawnbrokers. What the hell is that? The patron saint of pawnbrokers. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. It's so dark and evil, and it just, it's frustrating, man. It's just frustrating. Anyways, that person I'm not following anymore because they don't want to hear the truth. Actually, the very last thing that was said after I had said, I'm not here to start arguments either. I'm just trying to expose the truth. Last thing that was done was she sent me a little nativity scene inside of her Christmas tree. We can talk about the nativity scene all you want. That wasn't even a real thing either. That was the word for manger, or not manger. It was manger. You could say that. The word that was used there wasn't necessarily barn. It could have been an outhouse, not like a shitter, but like a separate room, a smaller room separated from the hotels, separated from the places, they call it a mother-in-law's house. Just a little shack out back that, it's like a one-room apartment. That could very well have been what it was. It didn't have to be born in a barn with animals. I don't even think Jewish law would have allowed that. It's what a lot of people don't seem to understand either, is that Christ and his family were Jewish. They followed the law. Would you really think that a Jewish family would have let a baby be born? Would you think that the owners of a hotel would let a baby be born in a barn? And then again, we can get into the whole subject of, nobody was able to even go near Mary or even talk to her or the baby for 7 days because they had to be separated. And then he was circumcised on the 8th. And then that was the time whenever people could come to see him. Not only that, but it says that the kings, the kings that came and brought them gifts, came to them at their home. Now, was that the home where they were in Bethlehem, or was that the home where they came from? No one even asked these questions. No one even asked if there were even 3 kings that came or not. We just generally assumed that there were 3. You don't know how many there were. Everything you know is a lie. Everything you know is a lie. Read the book. I was actually thinking about that. Covering that sometime. If you read it for what it is, you can find out how much all of this Christmas garbage is just made up. It's just made up garbage. They say that the men that were out herding the sheep were bringing their flocks in the end of December. I don't care how hot you think it is in the Middle East in December. Their flocks would not have been out. They would have brought them in by now. It was cold. They say that it says an angel went out and was talking to some shepherds and was telling them to go look at the newborn king and all this stuff. And they would not have been out in the fields. They would have brought the sheep in by then, by December. They would have brought the sheep in. They would not be out in the fields. It's when you really understand it and get the concepts instead of just hearing somebody saying something about it. It's like you see the lies. You understand it. You understand that Old Nick means the devil and that Saint Nicholas is just a patron saint of pawnbrokers. And you get to understand why. You get to understand why that people worship a tree. Because this is what they used to carve their gods out of. Some people still do. You understand why the Bible tells you that they will purposely grow the tree, cut off a portion of it, use that portion to burn, which is the Yule log, the trunk of the tree, the part of the tree that burns the longest, and then they will take the rest and they will fasten it with nails and do all the other kind of stuff and leave it up in the house. And then they will decorate it with silver and gold. And it tells you directly, do not do these things. But people don't care. They're following their heart. God knows my heart. God knows my heart and that I'm not following pagan rituals. I'm not following evil. No, God knows your heart. God knows your heart, and God knows that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. It's unbelievable. We're going to read Jeremiah 10 here, or Jeremiah 16. I need to blow my nose first. Hold on a second. I really, truthfully didn't want to get into a big, huge thing about it, but then again, at the same time, I didn't know if I was going to actually read anything today or not, because I am tired. I am tired, and we haven't been sleeping, like I said, because we have been... It's not been a good couple nights, I mean, it's been a good couple days. We had, like I said, we had great time with the kid. But we have not been sleeping very well at all. And I'm physically drained, That's what happens. You get a cold, your body just kind of starts shutting down on you. Anyways, let's read Jeremiah 16. The word of the Lord came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. For thus saith the Lord concerning the sons, and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them. Sorry, I was just checking my levels, making sure, because I can't hear myself in the... There. Can't hear myself in the headphones. Verse 3, let's try this again. For thus saith the Lord concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine. and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven, and for the beasts of the earth. For thus saith the Lord, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercies. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give up the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. Thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting, to sit with them, to eat and to drink. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes, and in your days, the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. There were a lot of things that stuck out to me. Just like neon blinking lights stuck out to me that we need to read through again, and I need to check the Strongs on these. Starting back up at the top. The word of the Lord came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. Why? Well, for thus saith the Lord, concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land, they shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword, and by the famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven, and for the beasts of the earth. He gave the warning. Don't take a wife, don't have sons, don't have daughters, because I'm going to kill them all. I'm going to wipe the slate clean, and they are all going to die grievous deaths. One of the reasons I never wanted to have kids. It's not that I can't have kids. It's just I never wanted to have kids. It's too late now. I'd have to go out and find a younger woman at this point. But the reason I never wanted to have kids is I never wanted to have to bring them up into this world. I didn't understand at the time that, I could raise them outside of this world. But I never wanted them to bring them into this kind of world where they would have to grow up the way that I did, because I didn't really exactly... I'm not going to say I didn't have the best childhood, I just didn't... There was always something not right. And I understand that now. I understand why I thought those things. That it wasn't right. It's because I'm not supposed to be here. This isn't the world that we were supposed to have been brought up into. This world is evil and wicked and vicious, and it will consume you. So all this world wants to do is consume you. And I understand that now. So I never had kids. I never wanted to. This is God straight up telling Jeremiah, don't have kids. They're just going to die. That everything in this land is going to be wiped clean. What I need for you to do, and probably if you look, I bet you if you go and you try to find Jeremiah's family tree or family lineage or whatever it is, who was it? Was it the Levites? One of them was, they were told, they are the priests and the prophets. They are the ones that aren't supposed to worry about having the kids. having marriages. Is that who it was? I don't remember. One of them was told not to do that because they are going to be the priestly class, the ones that, you know, they pull things from a different place other than the rest of the children, the tribes of Israel. That's what it sounds like to me. It may not be it, though. It may just, like I said, it may just be God saying, look, you're going to be a prophet. You're going to go out and speak my word. You're not going to follow the pursuits of this world. You're not going to have children. You're not going to take a wife, because you need to tell my people what's coming, what's going to happen. Verse 5, for thus saith the Lord, enter not into the house of mourning, M-O-U-R, mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercies, which, remember, he promises us that. God has always said, if you come to me and if you just listen to me and you follow my ways, you just do better, I will give you peace and comfort and all these things. When you stop doing that, I will take all these things away, and that's when the nightmares start. That's when evil will come in and just rule over you. And you will fall by the sword. All the evil men that have been sitting outside the door and waiting to get in, they're just going to come barreling in. It's that protection, that barrier that God promises us. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves. What the heck is that? Nor cut themselves. Sorry about that. Nor cut themselves. To penetrate, cut, attack, invade. To cut oneself. What is this? It also means gather. To crowd. Also to gash, as if pressing into. Okay, wait. Let's try this two different ways. Both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor gather themselves, nor cut themselves. Okay, but they are cutting themselves for the dead? Is that a thing? I bet you that's a, let me see here. Cut themselves for the dead. I'm only using one hand to type. What does it mean that you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead? If you cut yourself for the dead, you enter into covenant with the dead, or with dead entailing unusual deaths occurring in your family. With tattoos, it's the same. Well, that's why we don't get tattoos. That cutting to offer blood. Many peoples that were violent both in the mourning and worship of idols, tearing the hair, scratching and cutting the flesh. Now I've heard that before, but what I'm looking for is why. Why do people cut themselves for the dead? Is this like a blood pact? Like, well, you know, a lot of people, what was it, like 4 or 5 years ago? The whole, what was it, blood libel? Well, the blood packs started coming around, and, sorry, I had to cough. The guys on YouTube, there were so many of them on YouTube that were making these blood libel packs. You know, we're going to, you know, blood over intent. That's what it was. That we're going to, you know, write out what we need in blood. Of course, you've got the wackos like Marina Abramovich out there doing the videos of her writing, you know, some kind of craziness in blood. What was it? Cut the middle finger or whatever it is on your left hand or something. Feel the pain. You know, those kinds of things. That's what that is. That's got to be what that is. Nor cut themselves. It makes sense when you put it in that kind of context. Wow. It stuck out to me, and I was like, what does that mean? So that's what I'm saying. When you read through and you're not like noticing these things, you can just skip right over them, and yes, it's like, oh, you know, whatever. Oh, there were giants in the land. Who cares? Oh, they're cutting themselves because somebody. Who cares? But these are practices that have carried over that you see in witchcraft all the time. You see these guys doing these evil and dark satanic things, cutting themselves for the dead, making blood pacts. You sign your name in blood to the devil when you make a deal with him. That's what the legend says. That's what the story says. The blood is, God says the blood is something that is sacred. You shouldn't drink it. You shouldn't even touch it. It says somebody that touches a dead body or somebody that touches blood has to wash themselves and then be separated for so many X amount of days. When a woman is on her period, she has to be separated from the tribe for a whole, you know, the entire time. There's something about the blood. I don't know what it is. But God warns us constantly over and over again. It's just, don't even eat meat with the blood in it. Drain the blood thoroughly. There's something to it. The blood is life. The blood is life, and it probably gets down to the point where, you know, we're not even supposed to share blood. You know, like giving blood donations. You hear that all the time. Give your blood. Which is interesting, though. Some of those blood drive things, I heard somebody was saying that they don't even think that 50% of that blood goes to actually help people. The other 50%, they don't know exactly where it goes. You know, people want to talk about vampires and drinking blood and all this other kind of stuff. This is just what I heard. I can't prove or deny it. I'm just saying this is the stuff I heard. I do remember when I was a kid, probably late 80s, I remember something about some kind of a blood drive, one of the vehicles or something that used to come around, that they got robbed. Like a whole bunch of blood just went missing. It's like, what? You know, we made jokes about, you know, the vampires coming out and, you know, robbed a blood truck, you know, but I don't remember exactly where it was. Georgia, maybe? Georgia, Alabama, somewhere around there. That they had a whole truck got robbed, and they had just, all they took was blood. It was weird. It was just like, you know, why? And everybody was like, well, they can't really do anything with it because you'd have to have big freezers to store it, and you'd have to, you know, do all this other kind of stuff to it and make sure it didn't coagulate or anything. It's like, yeah, but you're missing the point. It's a bunch of guys stole blood from a truck. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when that was, but I remember that happening course, then again, maybe it didn't happen. I'm just thinking of a movie or something. I did. I did mention that my throat is really messed up. Wow. I'm glad I caught that before I started hacking right into the microphone. Oh. Yeah, it's my throat's pretty bad. We're gonna keep continuing here. We're gonna try to keep going. I got my water. I need my cough drops. I do have my finger on the mute button though, so just in case. That one got me. Wow. Anyways, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Now remember another one of those things about praying, especially when it involves the dead, is to cut your hair, put on sackcloth, and go out and cry and weep and moan. Especially for those that they talk about weeping and moaning for the 40 days or whatever it is. Yes, that's actually a thing. Verse 7, neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning, which again it's another one of those things, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or their mother. That's pouring out alcohol on the ground. How you take a shot and you dump it on the ground, say, I miss you, man, I love you, buddy. Those things. It's just another one of those practices that we're probably not supposed to be doing. It's just another one of those practices. Everything we do is only there to hurt us in some way, shape, or form. It's everything. When you really start seeing it and start understanding it, you're like, the whole thing has been a lie. Verse 8, thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and to drink. Another thing that people do when someone dies is they will have a feast. They'll get everybody together. They'll have a big dinner. Usually it's at somebody's house, and you're supposed to bring a thing, and you're supposed to get together and, soothe yourself with food. There's another part of the Bible where it talks about we're not supposed to feast when somebody dies. We're supposed to fast. To pray for them, we are supposed to fast. We're not supposed to feast. It's just another one of those things. So this is God telling us, do not do these things for the dead. And is it for this very specific part of what's happening in Jeremiah? Maybe. But then again, maybe also they're pointing something out to you. Things that people do, and God is saying, don't do this. Don't do these things. I don't know. It's going to be up to you. You're going to have to pray to God and figure that stuff out. I've already kind of made up my mind on some of these things myself, is that, I get it. A lot of the things that we do probably aren't exactly in line with anything that God wants us to do. So but he calls it out directly. That's just another one of those things. Jeremiah, the whole book, just calls out everything of this world. It's like, I don't think there's one chapter where we haven't looked at something and just been like, oh, well, maybe we ought to rethink what we're doing here. Verse 9, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth, the voice of gladness, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. Which we have heard, he has said that before, is I will take all of the happiness and gladness and everything out of this land because you didn't listen to me. So I'm going full scorched earth, and there's going to be nothing left, and it is what it is. I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it, but I gave you every opportunity. So verse 10, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God? Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. Therefore will I cast you out of this land, into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers. And there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. We have heard all this before. But it is funny. To me, it's funny, especially, again, after just trying to tell somebody the truth. Just, after the whole conversation I had the other day, they just won't get it. They won't get it, and then when God punishes them, they're like, why? Why do these things happen to us? Why does God let us suffer so much? How could a God let people suffer like this? Well, he tells you. He told you directly. You suffer because you won't listen to him. It just is what it is. If anybody ever comes to me anymore and asks, why would God let X people suffer? Why would he let my grandmother suffer with cancer all of her life? Well, did she follow what he wanted? Who is it for me to tell you why God is doing anything? Maybe you should go ask him. I can't tell you anything but what the Bible tells you. And the Bible says he lets you suffer. He takes away that barrier of protection from you because you won't listen to him. That's what the Bible says. As for why, I can't give you a reason why. I cannot be the intercessor for God. Nobody can. Not on this world at any rate. All we can do is tell you God's word. And you either get it or you don't. But I just, to hear it like this. Verse 10, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show all this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us? Why has God pronounced all that? Why is God making us suffer? Or what is our iniquity? What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God? What have we done so wrong? We did everything he wanted us to do. He knows our hearts. He knows that we're doing right. He knows that we're doing good. We're not doing anything evil or wrong. We're not going out and murdering and killing and raping each other. We're not doing all these evil and wicked, vile things, are we? All we did was celebrate Christmas. all we all we did was to worship on Sundays. All we did was all this other kind of stuff where he told us not to do this. Why would he bring all this evil down on top of us? Then shalt thou say unto them, I'm sorry, it's funny, I'm sorry, it is, because I've been thinking about this for the past couple days. I really have been thinking about this, is that, why would people, or when people come to you and ask you, I don't know why it came into my views, my spectrum of reality, but it was something that came up as, what if somebody comes to me and asks me, why does God let you suffer? Why would God let a child have cancer and suffer and die? And all I can think of, like I said, all I can think of is I can't tell you that. I can't tell you what God does. I don't know. I don't know why God would do that. Why don't you ask him? All I can do is tell you what the book says, what the word says. And the word says, these things happen to you because you won't listen to him. You won't do what he wants. You go out there and you're following your heart. The Bible says the heart is evil and deceitful above all things. You're following your heart in a world of darkness and evil. And then you want to come back to God and ask him what you're doing wrong? Maybe you really should talk to God. Don't... When I preach the word, when I'm sitting here just talking about the word, and if somebody ever asks me, all I can say is, look, maybe you ought to go talk to him. Maybe there's something going on in your life that you really, really need to talk to him about. Now, I don't like the fact that children have to suffer and all these other things evil, but I don't like it even worse that we have to lie to our children about everything. That we have to corrupt them and tell them that God doesn't exist, that evolution is real, that they are nothing and meaningless on a speck of dust floating out in the middle of nowhere on some crap-ass solar system in some stupid galaxy that means nothing. I hate that even worse than children dying from cancer. That's where the problem starts. I know that makes me sound heartless and cruel, but it's the truth. It starts with the lies. Stop lying to your children. Start telling them the truth. That's what this world has done to us. Don't blame God for children suffering from cancer. Blame this world. Blame radio waves. Blame electromagnetic interference. Blame the food. Blame the poisons in the air and the water. Blame everything. But no, you don't want to blame everything. You don't want to blame the fact that you let your kid sit a foot away from your television screen, or that while your kid was in your womb, you had your cell phone sitting right on top of your belly while you were playing on Facebook, and you want to ask why your kid got cancer. Why did God give my kid cancer? I don't know. What did you do to give your kid cancer? Maybe it was the shit that they pump into them as soon as they're born. Maybe it's the fact that at 2 months old, they want to shoot a cure or a vaccine into them for hepatitis. Hepatitis? For a baby. Think about that for a second. Maybe you should be asking what's going on there instead of blaming God for suffering. Maybe really you should start looking at the truth of this world. I gotta keep moving. I'm getting... we're doing a new I've been doing this for the past week. Hold on. I've been talking to my wife about we're having a new it's an all-encompassing AI-driven clock-in system where everything is going to be done by a computer, and that It's supposed to be almost fully automated to where you won't have to worry about supervisors or, managers or anything messing it up. And it goes live today. So I have to clock in early. But I have been making the joke, there is absolutely nothing whatsoever that could go wrong with this at all. That it's going to be perfect. That everything's going to work just perfectly. There's absolutely nothing that could go wrong ever inside of what's going to be happening on Monday. So I'm just like, I keep looking at the clock. I'm like, I need to keep going. I need to keep moving, but I got so much to say because, it's just, I don't know what it is about this weekend, but this weekend I've just had so much stuff going through my head. Maybe it's just been because I've been sleeping more. Maybe it's just because I haven't been as active and I've been able to think and process more stuff. I don't know. But just so many thoughts, so many things that I just don't have time to get out. And I get frustrated with it, the whole thing with, people asking, why is God bringing these things against us? Well, maybe you should go ask him. He gave you every opportunity. The people that were dying in the flood of Noah's flood, they were probably asking God the same exact thing. Why are you hurting us so much? Well, I gave you the choice. I gave you 120 years. Anyways, verse 11. Why does he do all these things to you? Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. Because your fathers have forsaken me. Not you, not yet, because your fathers. Now remember, it doesn't say in the end that the punishment will follow the fathers, that the children will not inherit the sins of their fathers. Remember that was a thing that the Bible does say. We will not inherit the sins of the fathers. But, verse 12, and ye have done worse than your fathers. For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, the heart that does deceitful things, the heart that is deceitful above all things. And this, what is it? And is desperately wicked. That they may not hearken unto me. And ye have done worse than your father. Your fathers did bad. You did worse. That is the story of the past 70 years of this world. That is the snowball of evil that I've told you about. It gets worse and worse and worse. Your grandfathers did X. Your father did X squared. You are doing X to the third power. Your children will be doing X to the fourth power. Their children, your grandchildren, will be doing X to the fifth power. It snowballs. It gets worse and worse and worse unless you stop it. Why have these things happened? Because your father sinned against me, and because you have sinned worse against me. Because every single one of you are walking after the imagination of your evil hearts. And because you won't listen. You just won't listen. You revel in not listening to God. You enjoy not listening to God. You claim to love him with all your heart, but you go against him every single step of the way. One of the things I should have said to that woman, which is one of the things I had yesterday, was if you truly want to follow Christ, and if you truly want to follow his word and follow his ways, do not follow Christmas. Christmas is the broad way. We're supposed to follow the narrow path, not the broad way. Do not follow the ways of this world. And you can put that in for just about anything you want to. Not just Christmas, just everything that happens in this world. Christmas is the broad way that will lead you to the destruction. We have to find the narrow path that will lead to Christ. Therefore, this is verse 13, therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers. And there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. You had your chance to worship me, you didn't take it, you decided to go worship other gods, so you know what, I'm going to kick your ass out of my land. You're going to go to a place that you don't know where the hell it is. You're going to worship other gods there. And I will not show you a damn bit of favor whatsoever. You can take your pick of any single race, nation, people that has been taken to any other country in this world, and all they have done is flounder and suffer. The only people that are doing any good in this place are the truly evil men of this world. The ones that have done all of this evil to everyone. That's how you know the truest evils of this world. You look for the people that are on top. Let's keep going. Verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Interesting things going on there too. Back to 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. It will no more be said that that was the God that brought the children out of the land of Egypt. It will be said, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. It won't just be, oh, this is the God that brought the children out of Israel, that, he did something good for them. It will become, that's the God that brought the children of Israel from all the places that he scattered them out. He brought them all back into the land. This isn't just, you're going out to be punished in these places. Here's another one of those things where whenever it talks about you will go to a land where you will not know where they are, and you will spend X amount of time there, to be ruled over, whatever. And people say, well, that was just them talking about Israel going into Egypt. No. This is way after Egypt. There is still another place where people will be taken to that will go into another land that people don't know where they are, who they are. We're still talking about another people that it will be so much so to the point that we will stop talking about whenever they pulled the Israelites out of Egypt with Moses and all. We'll stop talking about that, and we'll start saying he is the God that pulled them out of the north, out of all of those places where he took them, where they were taken and driven from, and bring them back to the land of their fathers. Yet again, this is that whole black Hebrew Israelite thing, and I'm not talking about the guys that are going out on the corners and preaching that they are the best in the world and that all white people should get down and kiss their feet. I'm definitely not talking about them. I am talking about the ones that were scattered everywhere. There's something to that. And no, I'm not automatically saying that, white people are not part of Israelites either. I'm not saying that at all. I'm definitely saying that, I definitely will say that the people that call themselves Israelites now, but I don't think race has anything to do with it. I think there's an adaptation process. I think human beings absolutely have an adaptation process, and that when you live in certain parts of the world, your skin turns a certain color because that's just what happens. You stay out in the sun too long. I've talked about this before. I was a pale white ghost. Going through the pictures of me as a child, I was a pale white, blonde-headed little kid. Mom took me down to Florida. I spent 16 years in Florida. I have a tan that doesn't go away and my hair turned brown. Being out in the sun does something to you. So why is it that you're going to tell me that the people that can live in the land of Israel now have to wear head-to-toe body protection so that they don't burn? There's a reason why people wear those big black hats, so they don't get roasted by the sun. I haven't been able to confirm it yet, but somebody said that Israel has the number one leading region for skin cancer. Skin cancer. I thought that was your land. I thought that was a land you were supposed to inhabit. You know, I thought that was supposed to be the place where you supposedly came from. You can't even live there. How's that supposed to be the land that you're supposed to come from? You can't even live there. What is that all about? It just makes you think. That's all I'm saying. It's just, we talk about the people that come from the north, and you come from the north where the cold is and people stay inside more and they're not out in the sun more. What's going to happen to your skin? It's going to turn white. This is coming from a white guy. I get it. A lot of people, they don't like to hear this kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, well, we need to talk about this. This is stuff we need to talk about this. It doesn't matter because we are all saved. The only reason it matters is because we have been lied to. There are people out there that are saying one thing and we are seeing another thing. That's the only reason that it matters. But we are all saved under God's eyes if we will come back to Him and repent of our old ways and to just follow His word. That's the promise He gave us. So we can all be saved. That's why I've said this one over and over again, is that, don't listen to the people that just say, well, it's only going to be X amount of people that will get saved, and there's only going to be certain race of people. All the rest of you are going to die. Don't listen to that. We're just here to find the truth. And the truth is, there's a lot more to this than we could ever even remotely understand. Anyways, yes, we will stop talking about the God that brought the Israelites out of Egypt, and we will start talking about the God that brought the Israelites out of the lands which He drove them and bring them back to the lands of their fathers. Verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord. Wait, hold on a second. All right. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, here it is, I've said this many times before, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them Sorry about that one. My throat closed up. We gotta end this. Holy smokes, I'm getting bad. Let me blow my nose. I'm gonna finish this, then we're gonna get out of here. Wow, that sucks. Alright. Verse 21. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord. Alright, from 16 to 21. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and I'm going to try not to be so... How many of these videos have I done where I have been sick? Even back whenever I was doing video commentary. How many of these videos have I done when I was sick as a dog? And I'm sitting there just trying to record, and I'm like, why am I recording it? I'm sick. Too many, I can tell you that much. At least once a year. I've said at least once a year. I get sick once a year. It happens every year in November or December. It's been happening more in December, but every year. It's like clockwork. It's like I plan on it, you know? I don't, it's not something again, it's not something I catch from somebody. It's just something that happens every year. Over and over again. It's the changing of the seasons. When it gets cold and we have to turn the furnace on and, you know, something else happens, it's environmental. That's what it is. I tell you that over and over again. It's not because I caught something from somebody. It's an environmental process. Verse 16. Let's do this and then we can get out of here. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of rocks. I will send for many fishers. Behold, I will make you fishers of men. He will send people out into the world, and they shall fish them, and they shall hunt them from the places where they are, waking them up as they go, so that he can bring them back into the world. Do I consider myself a fisher of men, a hunter of men? I don't know. I'm just a guy. Maybe, sure. There's a reason why there's a reason why God has me sitting here talking about the Bible when I am clearly sick. There's a reason why he wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can come in here and do this. So, there, sure, yes, I'm a fisher of men. There you go. Remember, I'm only here to change one. I'm only here trying to find that one person. That's all I'm worried about. For mine eyes, this is verse 17, for mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. Neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And first, I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have filled my land with the carcasses of the detestable and abominable things. What are the detestable and abominable things? Well, somebody said one of the books of the Apocrypha tells you straight up is that the abomination of desolation that was brought into the temple the first time that it was burned down was a pig. So they slaughtered a pig. Just throwing that out there. O Lord, my strength. This is verse 19. O Lord, my strength, and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies. vanity and things wherein there is no profit. How many times have I used that line? How many times have I used that line? In every different way possible. We were talking about Isaiah. Isaiah was talking about in the end that the Gentiles will come. That the Gentiles will be brought in with the people of Israel, that they will set up their houses beside them. They will set up the gardens beside them, and they will set up, they will be set up inside, protected by his people surrounding them. That was another one I remember too. And that is because the Gentiles, in the day of my affliction, the Gentiles shall come, the nations, those people that we did not know, shall come unto him and say, surely we have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. All of these things, all of these lies, this garbage that we were given that have taken us away from your word. Those people that have told us that if you follow this God, this nice, loving, soft God, that all you have to do is just come in and just pray to him once a week. It'll wash away all your sins. Or this kind, loving God that tells you just to be ruled over. Just let your rulers rule over you. You can read the Bible, but you don't really have to, because we're going to send out pastors to you that are just going to tell you just the smallest of things that you need to know. You only need to know one verse in the Bible, John 3:16. That's it. That's the only verse in the Bible you need to know. Everything else you don't have to worry about. We're going to send out those people to you. Those liars. Those manipulators. Those that taught those lies to our fathers and their fathers before them and their fathers before them. And they have taught us vanity. They have taught us these rituals in order to worship God that profit nothing. We've talked about how Christmas is vanity from one place to another. How Easter and all of these other ones have become vain. Become about pleasing your children. Not telling them the truth, just pleasing your children. How it has become vanity to go to church. Wear your Sunday best. Dress up nice. Shave, cut your hair, look good. When the Bible itself says that's not what you're supposed to do. Christ even got on to the people that sat in the best seats in the church, in the temple. He told you this over and over and over again. You're not supposed to try to get the best seats. No matter how much money you offer. It doesn't matter. The rich can give hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't matter. It's the poor woman who has nothing that gives away her last 2 gold pieces. She will inherit more in the kingdom than any of these rich guys that have all these things. She will inherit more. Those are the lies that we're talking about. Those are the lies that we have picked up. I again say I am just a lowly, sorry Gentile. I don't know any better. I know nothing. 5 years ago, I knew a lot of nothing. He pulled me out of my place, slapped me across my face, and he said, "You're going to wake up right now. You're going to wake up, and you're going to start understanding it." And then somewhere else along the line, he slapped me across the face, and he said, "You know what? Now you're going to go preaching the word. Now you're going to go try to find them, whoever's out there. Whether you're going to find Gentile or you're going to find my people, doesn't matter. Everybody's got to hear this at this point. We're just here trying to find truth. It doesn't even... I'm not here to preach to you, tell you that you're going to go to hell. I'm here to preach to you, tell you we've been lied to. And that the more that we get into these books, the more we find out that just about everything we do on a day-to-day basis is a lie. And it all stems from this one verse. 16:19. Remember, I say there's 3 verses in the Bible that I really got me. The first one of the first ones is, surely we have inherited lies from our fathers. One of the other ones was that it's the glory of God to hide a thing, the honor of kings to search it out. I had the third one right there in my head while I was saying that. Now it's gone. But we're not going to worry about that. I got to finish this up, though. Verse 20. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord. You're going to hear that line a lot whenever we hit Ezekiel. It seems like every 5 seconds, Ezekiel is like, and they shall know that my name is the Lord. But no, verse 20 goes right along with false gospels as well. You want to talk about prosperity gospels. You want to talk about church gospels that say that you just go to church every day and you're going to be fine. Here's another one. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? There is a gospel that tells you, or doctrine, a doctrine that tells you you are gods. You are gods and can become gods. Because there's somewhere in the New Testament where it says, don't you know that you are gods? And it's one of those verses that if you take it in context, it's like, no, that should be gods with an apostrophe. Don't you know that you are God's children? You are God's chosen. It is not that you yourself are a god. You are not a god. The Bible goes out of its way to tell you you are not a god, and if you choose to accept that lie, then you're just following a lie, just like everybody else. No, it's just another one of those pointers that Jeremiah, Isaiah and Jeremiah both. Jeremiah does a little bit more. I told you, Jeremiah really just puts everyone in their place. So, you're doing this, you're doing that. Ezekiel does it too. But Jeremiah seems to have done it a lot more. There's the middle part of Isaiah, once you hit, once you hit chapter 10 through 15, we start talking about like very specific peoples and the things that they do. For the entirety of Jeremiah, it's like, look at all these things that the Israelites are doing. If the Israelites shouldn't be doing that, do you think that anybody should be doing this stuff? And every time that God says, well, because you did this, because you did that, because you did this, I'm going to do this, don't you think that maybe we ought to listen? Just maybe we ought to stop and listen to this? I don't know. I need to go. I need to go start getting my day together. Hopefully this new program we have that I'm going to have to spend I don't know how many minutes logging into and choosing a new password and all this other garbage. Hopefully it won't blow up in our face. There's nothing that can go wrong at all. That it's perfectly normal for us to just randomly on a Monday of all times to have the whole company start using it all at once. I mean, let's not even worry about trying to bring people in slowly, group by group, to make sure that the thing works. No, we're just going to transfer the entire company over into this in one fell swoop. Nothing could go wrong anywhere ever, and it'll be perfect, and we won't have to worry about anything. All I can do is roll my eyes. Thank you guys for listening. Am I just smarter than the average bear? I mean, seriously? Am I just like, shouldn't we think about what we're doing here first? I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for listening. This was a good read. It really was. It's too bad that uh-oh, what's all this? It's too bad that I just feel like garbage. But alright. So they're sending me links and stuff in my email. This'll be fun. Nothing could go wrong anywhere ever. Oh, nothing could go wrong anywhere ever. They're already sending me messages saying that it's going to be down at the end of the week. Nothing can go wrong anywhere ever. You guys are great. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. God bless. I'll tell you how this goes tomorrow, because we'll see if this completely explodes in our face or not. All right, you guys take it easy. Later.